Hello, and welcome, my dudes. This is episode 4. Oh my God, I can't believe we're actually at episode 4. It's been an amazing journey so far. Today, I've got a very special guest in. I know of Demonix. I'm going to give him a little intro now. It's no secret. I've been signed with Omnius Gaming for the last year or so.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. I just departed from them now because I'm venturing out in my creative space and stuff. But enough about me. Demonix is... He's a legend in the industry, and I don't give compliments out lightly. He is somebody that strikes me that he knows his shit. I've been working with D for about a year now, really, since I got aware of Omnius and I signed up with them. But this, from design work to the org, this man has done a little bit of everything.
Jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades.
Yeah.
I'm rambling on, but before I end the intro, I mean it when I say it, you're basically a unicorn because you also do coding a little bit, don't you?
Yeah, but that's basically my main job is a developer. So yeah, obviously with development, design goes hand in hand.
Yes.
And with design, that branches out to, video editing as well and stuff like that. So that's basically my main 3 things.
So a unicorn, basically.
Yeah, I guess you can put it like that, yeah.
So, none other than the man himself, Jacques, Demonix. Welcome in, dude. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, thank you for having me on LevelFox. I was watching the first episode 1 of Nick that was released last week, and I was like, yo, this is really cool.
Thanks, bro.
Very interesting as well, getting a nice in-depth listen to Nick, his backstory, how things have progressed and where he's gotten. I like content like that. It's really something you can put on while you're working or just sit on straight and listen through it,
Thanks,
really
man.
Cool.
Wow, don't make me blush now. Dude.
I have to.
All my guests is making me blush here every time. Dude,
That's
thanks,
cool.
D. I appreciate you saying that because the thing is with D, and if we take this way back and we'll go through D's story, I feel like I say the same things with every guest, but this is the kind of the rhythm we're gonna go through, guys. So I want to take it way back. I want to hear everything about my guests sitting in front of me. But just to add to that, my first impressions of Omnius was branding looks tight, bro. I think it looks amazing. I think if people look at Omnius and my designs, there's a lot of similarities in negative white space. Less is always more.
Yes.
And there was something that I fondly picked up and remember from Omnius when I was introduced to them back in the day. I think I even said it in my application. I think one of my opening lines was like, I'm a multimedia designer, and if anything, your first point of contact, the brand, I think it looks tight. So
that was in the email. And I was like, oh, this guy, okay, he's actually looking at other things and just being, I want to be a content creator. Yeah.
So that's a brief little introduction on how I know D. Like I said, guys, I was with him for a year, so shout outs, dude. I really enjoyed the time that I had underneath the green and black wall. We should just say the green wall, right?
I guess it's, we're
going hashtag green wall right now.
Yeah, and I want to be optic, but we're almost there,
Almost there.
Yeah.
Speaking of optic, just a quick one. Did you draw any inspiration from optic, or is it just you love the color scheme green, black?
Yeah, no, green has always been a color favorite of mine. You'll even see my previous, before it was MGOs, let's call them clans because that's what it was back in the day.
100%.
My clans, everything was divided motion, it was green, black. That color scheme just always sat with me. It's just the color I love. It pops. It's the same like with LevelFox in the yellow and white. It
Thanks,
pops.
Dude.
So it's
appreciate
great.
it.
I love things like that.
Yeah, it's also kind of like a fine balance between, how it is sometimes with clients and stuff like, can we make it bigger? Can we have more colors? But I'm a big fan of two-tone, and looking at your work, you very much a two-tone kind of guy.
Yeah, we do like to branch. Well, I would say just touch the edges of different things. You'll see every year I do a semi-rebrand, but it's always the same. 1 year will be we did the whole geographic map thing. That's kind of a trend that was going on. Now we're kind of back in the grunge type of vibe.
Yeah.
So yeah, we do kind of just swap it up a bit, but we still keep close to the roots of just the plain black and green.
Green.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of Omnius, it's a nice segue. By the way, guys, we will have all the URLs and stuff down at the bottom of the video. But speaking of Omnius, it's Omnius.
We have a page on the website that says how to pronounce the name. So
it's not ominous, but the weird thing about it is, how did you come up with that? That word doesn't exist, right?
No, it does not exist.
Okay. So what's the story behind the name?
So that kind of ties in on what Omnius is as a thing. So Omnius I wanted to initially be that, but
So you wanted to be Omnius?
yes, but
Okay.
obviously that name was taken by some international org and stuff. So it's like the whole point of Omnius is trying to be a bit different than the rest, trying to stand out in certain ways. So one way of doing that was just taking out a letter and having our own word or play on the word of it, and then that's basically where it came from. So
That's a vibe, dude. That's a
Yeah.
vibe. So you kind of like had the idea of Omnius. You took out a word, you played around, and then came with Omnius,
yeah.
which became synonymous with your brand, which is dope, dude. Because like I never looked at the word going like this word doesn't exist. It just flows.
It feels like it's there. It's been there.
should be there.
Yeah, but it's actually, if you really look at it, it's not.
not
So,
there.
yeah, but I think that's a nice way of just having something like that,
Yeah.
which you can call your own, basically. But
Okay.
yeah,
Cool. So, intro out of the way. Demonix sitting across from me. I only knew his real name today, which is Jacques.
it's a basic joke.
It's just a joke. But Demonix, I kind of, like I said, been knowing him for a year or so. But you know how it is in the online gaming world. We use our pseudonyms anyway, so it's never by our names.
No,
You know, who's
definitely.
Clinton, who's Jacques, bro?
Yeah, we're just Dutch Wolf and Demonix. That's all it really
bro.
is.
That's it, man. Okay, so owner of Omnius. You could say that proudly. I think you've done a lot of good work. Let's start from the beginning. But before we talk Omnius, I want to hear your journey into gaming.
Gaming, yes.
And you know, I mean, I always crack a joke. It doesn't have to be when you were still in diapers, bro. But if that's the case and you had some sort of Atari in your hand, whatever. But just let the peeps at home know. Let's start from where your love for gaming started. Maybe the first console, maybe vivid memory you had. Let's start. Let's take it way back and start there.
Yeah, like from what I can remember, I started very early on with gaming. It's well, I'd say like at 5, basically.
For the audience at home, how old are you now?
I'm not gonna give it. I'm taking down. I'm 29 now, so it's been a while since.
So
in
you're
the
almost
space.
30. Okay,
Yeah,
so-
next year 30. We're hitting a 30.
So 5, you were like, I mean, early 90s,
Yeah.
late 90s.
So yeah, we didn't really do the whole console thing. I only got like the your Atari consoles and your what's it, Nintendo Cube, 64 Cube.
Did you have that fake one with the 64 and 1 games?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think everyone had those
Everyone
things.
had
You
that.
went to that almost like a $5 shop. You got your cartridge for like
Yes.
$15, and it had like 100 different games, but
Yes.
10 of them are the same ones.
But that wasn't, was Daya legit? That wasn't
I
a
don't think
legit-
that was
no, it
legit.
wasn't.
No,
But
no.
but we didn't know better, right?
No,
Like-
for us, it meant we could play Super Mario on the TV.
And
you
we
know,
didn't
so
care.
we didn't care.
And
It was
Circus
amazing.
Charlie, bro.
Oh my word, yeah.
the
Yes.
legends, bro.
Dude, there were so many. And even the Top Gun back in
Yes,
the day.
Top
That
Gun.
was so hard. Refueling that plane? Never.
Yeah, never.
Never.
And the one with the winky where you skit with the ducks.
Oh, yeah, Duck Hunt.
Duck
yes.
Hunt.
Oh, what a legend of a game. Like,
They were molding us into shooters back then already,
yeah,
bro.
it started early on, and you can see,
Okay, so you had like you had that. You were growing up. Were you obsessed with it, or was it just like when
It
you were
was-
light, it was part of your life? Like,
Yeah, it was just part of my life. Most of the time, I was spending outside, playing with friends, doing random stuff in the garden. You know, you imagine you have your own world when you're outside doing.
yeah. When we were
whatever.
youngins, we actually went outside. Harry.
Yeah, we touched grass. You know, we actually touched grass.
It's a funny saying, guys, but like it's true though because D is just 5 years younger than me. I think we probably our ages align here, but we grew up in a world where we didn't have a touchscreen cell phone.
No.
I was still rocking a tape thingy, bro.
Yeah, I
like,
loved listening to music through that, rewinding, swapping sides.
with the pencil inside
Yes,
the tape.
exactly. That's how we did it.
So to put in perspective for everyone and all the youngest watching, that's the kind of era we came out. Like if you look at Guardians of the Galaxy and then you're looking at thingy, I always feel like we very much like him, dude. Star-Lord, bro.
Yeah, you live it.
He's got that vibe. Yeah, he's got that vibe where like he grew up in all ages. He's got his tape decky thing on him still, so he's still vibing those ages. So a lot of times I talk to my guests that it's good to know their age, not because like why do you want to know people's age, but just to get like a bit of a perspective on where they come from. So
So what you've been through, you know, and
Yeah.
to where we are now, essentially. So
Essentially.
you can, yeah.
So you were young and you were playing games and stuff. Teenage phase, went to school.
No, high school didn't really, you know, the normal, just getting through school,
But
boring more.
were you playing a lot of games or not?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Were you
Like,
like getting to? I mean, that would probably be like CS 1.6 days, bro.
Exactly. Yeah, Half-Life. Half-Life I started. Oh, let's begin at the beginning. Like my first PC game I played was a demo of Quake 2. Basically.
So you started with Quake, bro.
Quake, yeah.
Wow.
That was my thing.
That is, I loved the Quake franchise.
It was
also
good.
grew up on it. And the fact that you started with Quake 2 just kind of like explains to me what person you are today, bro.
Yeah, I mean, that was the genre of like Unreal, Quake, those type of games that kind of forced. That's where the competitive side from me basically started evolving into. It's because of those type of games where you could go to a computer shop,
Yes.
pay 10 Rand for an hour, sit and play with randoms and just frag each other.
So for the youngins again at home, this was called an internet cafe and a computer shop, and you would literally go there, and they would have had a LAN set up already.
Yeah, you just literally sit and play. You pay and sit and play. That's all it was.
And it was like 10 rand a uur of iets.
Exactly, yeah. Like, and it went quick so fast because you were just like, the hours didn't even make sense. You were just like, well, here's money. Here's 100 Rand for the day. I just sit and play. You know?
3 Milos later. And yeah,
that's pretty much how it went.
So you started with Quake 2. Do you remember the first time you played multiplayer, bro?
Oh, let's think. I think that was around about, let's say, 12.
Yeah.
I would say we had a decent internet connection, so I can actually get online. We had
you were
ADSL.
one of the lucky ones, bro.
Yeah, because I started with the modem. The tradition in the house was if my parents were buying, I could have 1 hour of internet on the modem. That meant
only if they bri.
Only if they bright.
So you probably were like, fuck it, let's bri.
Dude, yeah, it was the best time ever for me because that means I could get that. I was playing what was a Quake 3 at the time, and you could get skins and maps and all those things. And that meant I could download 1 or 2 skins through a bri session. That means new content for me. So I was fucking loving it.
And this was, this was probably like, we went for 56K, ISDN.
Yeah.
ADSL,
yeah. So I went from the 56 and then we waited a bit. Then we went straight to a 4 meg at least, luckily.
Yo, you had a 4 meg when you were 12, dude.
Yeah, I did. Like my dad, because my dad was like, he was also like a web developer doing a lot of internet stuff, reselling stuff like that. So he kind of needed it. So yeah.
So Papa Demonix had an influence on you?
Yes, definitely. He was the guy that brought the CD back home with the Quake 2 demo on that I could play games on. So he kind of started it for me. Yeah.
Yeah. I still vividly remember my first multiplayer experience. It was my cousin, and it's funny enough with Quake 2 as well, bro. It wasn't my first game, but I remember my cousin setting up his computer, and he had his friend's computer there. Didn't really know what was going on, and I think he used the 56 game as a router or something. Like you could have used it as like a bit of a router or something, dude.
Yeah, I think at that point you could still just connect it straight, like
and just
through,
land.
It just could work. It was just slow, obviously.
But wait, back then we could do PC to PC.
Yeah,
you could have just on your network cable to
like
your
a normal
friends,
LAN,
just straight there. So anyways, he set this up, and I was like a little bit confused. I just wanted to play games. And
that's all we wanted to do.
Yeah, and I just wanted to play games, and I think it was like Worms or something. I was I wanted to. That was also another classic. Shout out to Team 17.
The list of games I could mention of LAN games that were just perfect to play.
We're gonna mention them all
shortly.
Good.
That's good. So people can know.
People must know the classics. We're gonna
get into it.
I mean, Team Fortress and all that. We're gonna talk about that. So my vivid memory was Quake 2 as well. But in terms of multiplayer, I remember him sitting in the PC, and he was like, "Oh, we're gonna play against each other." I don't really know what did he mean by
like what is happening. Yeah.
And I think he had a grenade launcher, and I was still looking at his screen, and I remember him shooting the grenade launcher, seeing it land in front of me, and my mind just went,
how?
Like, blown, dude.
Yeah, that's a whole new thing that you've now seen or realized that can happen. Yeah,
right.
Opportunities incoming. You know,
and I think for people like you and myself, that moment is what made us who we are today. Because it just literally, I shat myself, dude. I think
that's the hook. That you can call that the hook, essentially. Yeah.
Like back then, because that's why I kind of walked into. Thank you, director man, just telling me to come in a little bit. Back then, like that's why I spoke about briefly our history and stuff, because that wasn't like normal for us, bro.
No, it was completely new.
Completely new. And also doing whatever they could to set up lands and so on. But it was honestly, for me, it was just a moment I would remember. It's burnt into my DNA, and from that time on, I just wanted more, bro.
Oh yeah, I was in the same trend of, I would say I was fine with just playing games casually, but when I hit that online internet section of my life in gaming, that's where the
competitive beast came out, bro.
Oh, that's where it hooked me. When I could start playing against other players, they were better than me. They kept on killing me. I was like, I want to be better. I want to get to that point. I want to kill the server. You know,
I know the feeling.
That's what hooked me.
Yeah. And I think you had internet a little bit earlier than me, but or myself. Is it me or myself? Me. I think it's me.
Yeah.
Guys, I am Afrikaans. I'm actually
Same.
a crossbreed. So are you full Afrikaans?
Yeah, we're full, like family Afrikaans.
But your English is quite.
Yeah, I learned that
Nice.
actually from online gaming, to be honest, because most people were English. Depending on what game you played, if you played an MMO, your whole guild was English, or even
Yeah.
different like sets of English.
Yeah.
So that's where I kind of learned how to get to this
Yeah.
point of speaking English. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I'm a little bit all over the place, but it's freeform podcasting. This is the vibe we got going on. We're already a quarter of the way in. Okay, so Demonix, teenager. We ever angry at the world, bro?
No, I wouldn't say I was in that phase ever. I was just the guy. I was very chilled. I was the class clown, essentially.
Okay.
Always making jokes, making random stuff, making noises.
Yeah.
All those types of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was very chilled. I just had my group of friends, and I essentially formed just a group of friends of people that also loved gaming. So I was always just in that group doing those type of things. So yeah.
So you was mentioning clans and stuff, right? Because I kind of want to move into what I think your path was to Omnius. You obviously had that competitive bug, but you were like what, probably 16, 17 years old, going through high school and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Were you trying to compete back then already? Was it like a full-on thing that PvP is my life right now? And also for the audience back then, what was like your go-to? Because you were in CS before.
I've
Valleys,
been
bro.
in a lot of games, so yeah, we
take
can
us way
go
back.
through it.
I want to
so-
go. Okay, wait. Before we do that, the LAN games from back in the day. Let's list them. So Quake 3 Arena,
Unreal Tournament,
Half-Life, and the
Half-Life,
Deathmatch.
Half-Life Deathmatch.
Gary's mod.
Yeah, definitely Gary's Mod. The amount of random fun we had in that game.
Yes.
Worms, Armageddon, those games. Geez, what is it?
Age of Empires.
Team Fortress. What's it? Warcraft 3.
Yeah, Warcraft 3.
Dota. All the mods, those things. Like,
But it's
so
weird.
much.
It's weird how those games kind of like was the benchmark for what we know today, right?
Yeah,
So-
they set they I would say opened the genre
Yeah.
of a type of game, and then
Yeah.
it was built upon.
and then the modding community makes those
Yeah, like
changes, and then that becomes so. Like
that's
a
how
lot of,
Dota became a thing. It was literally
that's
just
what I
a
would
mod,
ask
yeah.
you. So like the 3-lane type of thing, didn't it stem from like tower defense, bro?
Essentially,
Because
and
if you
then
think
it
about what
kinda-
tower defense is, and that evolved, I'm sure that evolved. Into
Yeah, I
what-
guess it would start at that point, and then like, okay, well, let's add more to it,
Yeah.
which is your heroes and your creeps, and
Yeah.
then obviously you have your towers, and then you have a base that you essentially want to destroy at the end of the day. So
Yeah, because they took, it's like, I think it was modders that went, okay, cool, tower defense is a vibe, but how's about we do that, but against two
teams, and you have different heroes now that do different abilities.
Yeah.
So it kind of just evolved. It started, scaling very quickly into this whole thing, and then essentially we landed on Dota, which from me, that was my first MOBA game that I ever played.
And also something you played like obsessively.
Oh yeah, we played that broken at LANs. That was the go-to, like late evenings, sitting there playing that. Even when I was going to the community LANs in my house, everyone is like, Dota time, let's go.
Yeah.
We have, if there's too many people, we just form more servers and we all just game together. So.
Game together. When we mention LAN, guys, it's physically picking
Taking-
up your PC,
Oh, yeah.
CTR monitor. The DT, they were all watts back then.
People can be
groot.
so glad that we have the flat monitors we have now, because carrying a 17-inch.
But it kept us fit, bro.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
A 17-inch CTR, guys. I can't like it is.
It's just a block.
cocksword,
It's
dude.
a block of weight.
It's a block of
So-
weight, and then your PCs back then, the towers weren't like lightweight or anything.
No.
It was just a block of weight. And when we say LANs, a lot of people are probably like, oh, like a LAN, like an ACGL tournament or Medal State one. No, we talk about literally
Offline.
we would, or I would, and I'm assuming Demonix was, and I would love to hear his stories before we carry on to what we wanted to talk about, is that LANing used to be my life, dude. Like I remember me and my friends, that's all we wanted to do over the weekend. I even got to a point, and I want to hear these stories as well, got to a point at my school, I went to the headmaster
Asked, yeah.
and asked if I could use one of the rooms to gooi lands in, and my whole justification for that was that it's better than doing drugs on the straat, meneer.
Well, I mean, fair point.
Do you want us to K Riso or like
You want us to
Go
do
on the
some weird
straat.
stuff? Yeah, you know how kids are.
you just throw it to the teacher's face
Exactly.
like that,
And
right?
then I realized, yeah, okay,
It's
let's
cool.
see, yeah.
And then back then, I was even into my branding back then without knowing it because I called it Flip and it was standard for Fully Land Incorporated Parties.
Okay,
And I
cool.
had a bit of a logo going on.
That's cool,
It's
yeah.
before I even knew anything about design
Yeah,
or whatever.
so you could already see it, like, you're heading in that direction.
Yes, and long story short, I remember it was CS and obviously Quake and all those things playing with the Marties, and I think I charged dudes like $10
Yeah.
to come in for, and we would just play for the day. I saved those 10 rands up. Believe it or not, you can save 10 rands back in the day and buy something. And I remember going from a 4-port to an 8-port
Oh, yeah.
10100.
Getting that means more people to
More
come
people
join,
and
play
to go
together.
play.
Yeah.
So that's like. Did you and your Marties set up lands and stuff?
Where I stayed, that was when I was still living in Limpopo, Warmbov side. We actually had people there. The internet shop there, the guys that worked there, they kind of provided everything for us. So they would be like every second week, we'll have a LAN there. There was this massive like sports Soul or whatever you call it in English.
A Soul, bro.
Soul.
Yeah.
We all went there, brought our PCs.
A hall.
That's the word. Sorry.
Yeah.
So we all went there. Everyone brought their PCs. Everyone set up. They had the games on external drive, or like they had a server PC you could just copy everything from.
Yeah, guys,
get started.
back then that was kind of normal.
Yeah,
It's very illegal feeling today.
Yes, but then
Pirate
we were
Bay
like,
and
that's all
whatnot.
we had. But
that was it.
that's how
right?
it was. But that's how we did it. And then everything is here at your table, your cable, you plug in, you play. That's all it was.
You used to go there, get the latest games.
Oh yeah,
Because
definitely.
most of us didn't have internet, so you knew that you're
No.
going to a LAN and you know you're gonna get some new shit.
That means new games, new fun. Yeah.
Combination of games and very dirty videos.
Yeah, you can say that.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of content there that you could choose from. Series, things.
lot of
You know how it is,
interrupt
man.
Yeah. So we were all young, dude. But anyway, so that was the spot where you used to meet up. And the thing is, that's what I miss about LANs today, dude.
It was so nice because it was meeting new people and your buddies going together. So it's just this nice little vibe. Like everyone's just friends. There was
Yeah.
no like that's pretty toxic or toxicity that we have now. Essentially, like it was just like everyone's having a vibe.
Yeah, but back then it was in your face and it's your friend. You know,
Yes,
it's that like
yes.
that's
It's not anonymous
it's
online thing.
dudes hopping each other. And
Yeah.
when I say dudes, I say male and female. Like for
Yeah,
me,
we
I'm
had
just
a
saying
bunch of
Marty's
girls play
with-
there as well, which is
Yeah.
quite surprising. It's like, what, you play games? It's like, that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
bro.
so that was very nice to see. And I mean, the nice thing about LANs is you can literally, if someone is busy fragging you constantly on the map, you could just like stand up for him. That was like, hey, yeah, that was so nice.
Stole the words out of my mouth, bro. Because that's what kind of made it. There was nothing better than jumping Quake 3 Arena, rocket jumping up somewhere,
Oh,
whipping
yes.
out the railgun, shooting your Marty on the longest yard across the side.
Yes.
Wait, longest yard? Wasn't that Unreal? No, it was.
No, they
Quake
had
3.
maps. They had the same thing. Well, the map longest. Yeah.
Quake 3 Arena. Which one? You know, I'm thinking Unreal Tournament. You know the map that's net Twin Towers and
Oh yeah,
and
with the space. Yeah, I can't
Was
remember
that called
them.
Longest Yard? No.
I can't remember the map name.
I'm gonna go with my initial thing. Well, people
We'll
correct
stick
me
with
in the
it.
chat. But Quake 3 Arena was called Longest Yard. It was the one that was also kind of just in black space. It
Oh,
had
with the pillars in
platform-
the middle, like everywhere.
Nee. It was just like
Oh.
like imagine like a few jump pads and a jump pad work, and then there was one jump pad quite far away.
Oh,
Where you
yes.
used to get the rail and you
Yes,
could jump back.
yes. I remember that. Yeah.
Anyways,
yes.
I digress. But that essentially was our lives. We used to LAN. We used to like meet up with Martys, and I miss that here.
I
too.
do.
Because LANs today.
It's not the same.
because that's where you compete and it's a little bit more serious. And
That's why when I saw NAG not actually revive
Yes.
bring your PC, your
Yes.
own PC LAN thing in
Vibes,
December,
bro.
that was like, it just, like, that memories just popped up instantly.
instantly. And speaking of NAG in that time period, do you remember the magazines?
I collected all the magazines, all
Snap,
the
bro.
CDs.
I used to
My,
open that
my
thing.
parents were so mad that it's filling up your room,
Yeah.
get rid of it. I'm
No,
like, no.
I
it has
lived
to
for
stay.
those things, bro.
It was so cool. Literally, it was the best thing ever.
Best thing ever.
Every
dude.
month you get a NAG with games, movies, demos, trailers.
Or Magic the Gathering booster pack.
Yeah,
That's
like
where I
those-
got exposed to Magic the Gathering.
Oh, okay, that's
Do
quite
you,
interesting.
Do you sling the cards?
Mm-mm.
You're not a. You
I
don't
never
sling
got
the
into
spells,
that.
bro.
Nah.
Okay.
I play my MMOs,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
not the
Yeah, no, of
actual
course.
hardcore card boy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you sling spells on a different world. There,
yeah,
bro.
it's a different field.
but shout outs to Nag, by the way. Nag played a massive role in a lot of when we were youngins' lives.
Definitely,
bro.
like they.
That was the only way to see trailers for games, demos.
yeah.
Like you lived on that.
Reviews
thing,
of games. Yeah, like that was. I mean, they had everything you needed in
Yeah.
a magazine. It was perfect.
Them and PC Format.
Yes. Yes.
OGs, bro.
Definitely.
I would get my PC Format. I would get my NAG.
At Pick and Pay or wherever, it was in the rack, you know.
You pop that CD in the CD-ROM
the black CD of NAG on it or whatever, and then you're just like, oh, here's all the new things for me for the month.
Yes, dude. And
I miss it.
I miss that too, bro. And I was like lightly hopping on what you said about downloading content for Quake 3 on the internet. When I started getting my modem and I got to the online on my little ISDN or something, I would download. I mean, it's quite common today, shotting videos, but Quake 3 back then had those.
Was there like community videos?
Yeah, but
the demos?
It wasn't trick shotting, it was like trick movements and stuff. Do you remember that? Where they
The
would
hopping
like.
stuff
Yes.
and then doing
well,
rocket jumps.
And rocket jumps, and then they would chain together like rockets and to form this like what beautiful art piece of movement, I guess, bro. And I remember like downloading one of those videos over the whole weekend, bro, just so I could see 5 minutes of the latest like, trick shot video.
The struggles back then with speed, and well, if your internet dropped, that was also a problem. We
bro.
didn't have we didn't have like download managers that could just resume. You was like, well, there goes my download. I start from scratch. You know,
True. And then there was actually now, bro, you're sparking so much shit in my brain now. This download file managers thing started becoming like kind of popular.
Yeah, that was the thing.
You could pause.
Yeah,
you would use that on the LAN as well. Remember,
yeah, we had what is it called, Terracopy, that I still use nowadays as well, because
Wow.
it works. You know, it does its job perfectly.
Okay. Okay, we've lit up.
Reminiscent, like we've gone through the good old days.
Yeah, the good old days. So now we're chatting with D, and then you mentioned Dota, right? And you were like kind of obsessed with Dota. So would you say that was your first foray properly into the esports world?
I would say actually I'm more of an FPS guy. So with Dota at that point we had obviously Counter-Strike 1.6.
Counter-Strike is the granddaddy.
Yes, it is the daddy. And then at that point I wasn't really that keen on that type of FPS. I was more a COD guy. So we had our COD 2. You had your Medal of Honor.
Medal of Honor, bro.
Allied Assault, or I think it's Allied Assault. Oh, it's so great.
I remember that opening cutscene on the Normandy beach thing.
That was really good.
But if you have to look at it right now, it looks like ass, dude.
Yeah, it didn't age well.
But how you remember it?
It was a totally different experience.
Like how you would
With
see a
lot of
game
games,
today.
actually. Yeah. It is. It's weird how that is. Like to me, if I think back, it's like it's so different from what I'm seeing now.
Yeah, what you
It's
remember.
weird. Yeah.
It's weird because I think it was with Carmageddon. And then I remember like Carmageddon was such. I'm walking here.
The old lady. Very gory for like a 10, 12-year-old boy. My parents were like, just be careful of those types of games. So.
I think our parents were a little like bietjie blinders aangehad.
Yeah. They just let you play.
Yeah, but as long as you were a good boy and your grades were fine.
Yeah. Pretty much, that was the standard on my house. Was like, I could go out, do whatever, as long as my parents knew who I was and my grades were decent.
And you can go home and drive over people.
Yeah, it's fun. At least it's at home.
Yeah, on a computer.
On my couch or in my room, you know.
So the reason I mentioned Carmageddon was because it's weird, guys. When we grew up playing games like the original Tomb Raiders and the original Hitmans and stuff, and you look at what it is today, we remember the games like it is today.
Yes, like AAA graphics. That was for us how we remember it. Yeah.
And I remember buying like Carmageddon 2 as like a remake thingy for today's time. And it was a couple of years ago. I downloaded this thing and I started up. I'm like, this looks like ass, dude.
Yeah, it's
like,
not the same.
So disappointed.
I don't want to ruin my memories, so let's rather just not do that. Leave the game. I'll just remember,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Unless you have a PlayStation 1 or an old console, you want to play Metal Gear Solid as its original form.
Yeah,
just don't.
Those games, in my opinion, are fine. They feel like they can always just be like that. It's fine.
They stood the test of time, bro.
Exactly, yeah.
Are you a Metal Gear fan?
I mean, at that point, I didn't really have a console.
Yeah.
I only got my first real console was a PlayStation 2. But then on that, I played like your Crash Bandicoot, those type of games.
PlayStation 2 probably best console of all time, dude.
Definitely.
I think the PS5 only now the PS4 only just a couple of 6 months.
Has now finally
outsold
outsold
the PS2.
Yes.
That
Yeah,
shows
how long
good
it took.
the
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And also the 360. Hats off to that. That's also one of my favorite consoles.
Best console of all time.
Yeah, that had the best interface, best
Alles, dude.
live social service, controller.
At everything,
It
bro.
had everything. Yeah.
Okay, we jumping too forward now, because I would love to chat to you about the consoles things too. So, okay, I know you and your FPS. So guys, Demonix is owner of Omnius Gaming. He was competing recently in CS and then made the switch to Valorant, right? I say recently, that's probably like a year ago, bro. Maybe
That's more. It's like Yeah, 4 years now. Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But before we get to the present time, we mentioned Dota, and then you started talking about FPS titles, which was CS, right? So you were grinding a bit of both. But where did you start competing? Were you like a clan?
Yeah.
You know, fill us in, and the mindset there is D, Dust, and Aztec, and you remember the good ones, bro. So
yeah, so if I were to go where I actually started grinding, getting into that whole space of competitiveness, it was with COD 4.
bro, it's so awesome that you said that, because you're the fifth guest
That actually managed
on this series, bro. This is talking past tense future now, guys, but this is episode 5, if I'm not mistaken, and every single guest started their career with COD.
It was just one of the best CODs to
Ever,
jump
bro.
in and get into that whole feeling of competing against each other. It just, everything worked.
And
as
it helped
should.
that it had split screen,
Yes.
your local LAN,
Exactly. Server browser, very
browser,
important.
PC, and even your console. You could have LAN with your consoles with your multi.
You had like that 8-player connection with like your Xbox and stuff as well. You know, there's a lot of stuff you could have done.
Okay, so let's talk about that. You get into COD. You are competing. Any fond memories of clans back then?
Yes. So
group?
when I played COD, we had it was this community. How can I put it? Like a chat thing where it was called Rig. There you could queue. It's like a pug system.
Okay.
If you know how a pug system works, but it was like very back in the day. So you would queue there. Everyone's like, "Yeah, let's play," and you jump into a COD 4 server, and then if you win, or so the guy that coded it did a really good job of like pulling in your stats, and then you had a leaderboard. So you kind of had this community leaderboard of building yourself up, and that's how I got into it. I started playing a lot, and that people started recognizing your name and stuff. You know,
because you're competing, and you could see your ranks effectively.
So
right?
it's just like, oh, this guy's climbing up. He
Was that
becomes-
regional though, or did it just go across the board internationally?
No, it was just local South Africa.
Okay,
so
so
yeah,
you-
it was just a whole local community thing.
What? But did you have to log in your stuff yourself, or was it like connected to your
No,
profile?
the guy, the service he was running could automatically just log
up from
the event log that, okay, cool, this is the stats and there's the leaderboard. So he was really good with that.
That's dope, dude. Because I mean, if we look at Metal State and ACGL today, you know that kind of forms part of
That was, what we have
Some of
now,
the first
ACGL and
things,
stuff,
bro.
same, one of the first things of doing that type of thing.
So shout outs to them. What was it called?
Rig, yeah, Rig, R-I-G, yeah.
Shout outs to them, bro.
Yeah, they don't exist anymore, unfortunately. But that's where I met a lot of people. Some people that even worked at VS Gaming. Richard, I can't remember his surname, but he was one of the admins there, always at the LANs when we competed and stuff. But yeah, that's how I started. That's where I hooked myself into getting better competing.
Yeah.
And that enabled me to branch out where people are like, hey, join a team.
Join a team.
Let's
Okay,
start it.
so where was your first team you joined? And peeps need to reckon and remember that time period, there was no salaries, there weren't anything. It was just dope to be part of a
Yeah,
clan.
it's like,
and
yo,
competing.
good, join us, let's go. And we compete and let's see where we get.
And that for you was enough, bro. Like,
Yeah, like-
back then, that was like enough.
Yeah,
bro.
for us in that time of that section of our lives when we competed, the only thing we wanted was to be the best.
Yeah.
That's all you want. You want the reputation of being. When you see the name, people know.
Yeah.
Shit, this team is the best in this title. That's
Okay.
all we wanted. No money, no keyboards,
There was
nothing.
I
yeah.
mean, there was some prizes at some lands, bro.
yeah.
We had like you could win like a little. Like I remember that. Like remember the thing you slot your hard drive in with the cooler. and
Oh
then you
yes,
go-
yeah.
I won that and one
Those
Quake 3
little
thing there.
gadget thingies you could get, and yeah, no, I would say like
Or an
um,
RGB fan. You were like, wow.
Yeah, I need
Those
that
was
for my
new.
PC.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the type of things we had. We had money for some of the things late in my life where, I mean, our prize pool was like 7,000 Rand. That was like...
When was this now?
That was in 2014 when I was...
Was this VS Gaming or not?
Yes, it was when it was still Do Gaming. You know, DGL, Do Gaming League.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was that Telkom back then?
Yeah, it was still, yeah.
So, dude, hate them or love them, dude. Shout outs to Telkom for actually starting that initiative.
They gave a lot of gamers a good platform
Yeah.
to start them in
True.
their path
True.
to wherever.
True. Oh shit, we're already on the 33-minute mark, man. Fuck,
Jeez.
like, and I'm trying to get through. Okay, we're gonna fast forward a little bit.
Okay.
I believe Demonix also has a little gift for me, and I've got a gift for him, but we'll do that in a second. I'm so cock excited. I kind of know what it is, but I'm so excited. I've been waiting for it.
It's fine, just act excited.
Yeah, I'll just act, dude. Okay, so let's fast forward a little bit. Is there any shout outs to the old clan names you want to hoy out there, bro?
Yes, I can't remember my buddies from the God 4 days.
Yeah, because we're old men now, bro.
Yeah,
We don't-
like it's been ages gone, you know. So, but thank you for everyone that actually I must say it was a vibe. Honestly, it was the greatest experience of getting into esports with those people and getting me to where I am now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And inadvertently, you, people like Nick and myself, we kind of paved the way for what that is, dude, because it was such a weird time, man. It was so weird, like, and also a bit like, you know, it's cool to be a gamer today. Back then, it was a bit nerdy, dude. It's like, you're a nerd, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
You're
but
a
I
geek,
mean,
bro.
for me, it was, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I enjoy it. So, you know, leave me be.
Did you play any sports and stuff at school?
Yeah, I played rugby. I was in the B team. And then
flank?
I was position, was at 14 flank. Yeah, right.
I called it, bro.
Yeah, because I loved running
I just
as
look
well.
at your body, I was like, you're a flank, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I loved running, so they put me on the fast position. Did athletics a lot. Far jump and sprint, the 400 meter.
Yeah.
And then I transitioned into tennis, and then I stuck with tennis, and that was my go-to in high school and all that.
The reason I'm asking that is because I find a lot of gamers, when they play sport, it's like it's the one and the same, right? You have that competing spirit against you.
No, it's in you.
You get to games, you can compete more, and it's like you just want to be the best. I just want to know, because you strike me as one of those dudes, and also the reason the way he said he doesn't give a shit is because I was also similar. Like but I feel like it's almost like when you, it's not an attitude to have, but it was almost like you knew this culture was going to be something like back then you didn't know what it was, but we were part of that.
We were part of it, and we wanted to keep on going where it's gonna go.
Yeah, because I remember, like, just briefly before we go on to Omnius, and I would love to know how you started that, and a little bit of Raiku. Shame she's sitting in the background there, guys.
Always supporting,
number one cheerleader, and I guess you know her number one cheerleader as well, dude. Yeah. Raiku's also, I mean, okay, we'll chat about how she's been helping in the scene as well and stuff in a minute. But long story short, sport, competitive scene, we got to through your puberty stage at high school. You were pretty much like, you weren't like a rebel or anything like that.
No, I wouldn't say so, no.
Just a cool dude with a bit of a vibe, bro.
I was just the guy that always made the jokes, always kept the hype going, whatever. Always wanted to go to the parties, just have a jaw. That's all it was, really.
And then we move on to Dota, and then obviously CS, and then COD 4 was kind of synonymous with you.
Yeah,
and the
that
esports thing.
took me a few years, and then I moved. Yeah, once I was done with COD.
It was CS time.
Yeah,
right?
I pretty much stopped when I was done competing in the NAG Gaming League. They had that Black Ops 1 thing going on. That was my very first going to a LAN, essentially, and competing experience.
Were you stressed, bro?
I was stressed as balls.
Yeah.
So,
LANing's different.
You're a young little kid. The people I played with were, a bit older than me.
Yeah.
But and I was alone there because it was in Johannesburg, and we were living in like Warmbos, Limpopo. So obviously, I was just dropped there. It's like, enjoy your weekend. And it's like, cool. Sleeping under the table, competing.
Gaan wen my seun, gaan wen my
just go do your thing. So it was quite nice. But that was my first taste of actually getting to a proper LAN with a bunch of teams, seeing how everyone plays, doing the good old thing of standing behind the team, cheering them on, shouting, all that.
Oh, yeah.
It was so good.
That's awesome, dude. Okay, so Mr. Owner of Omnius. So where you were competing, you were enthralled with the whole esports scene, South Africa, gaming, and we're growing with the scene. It's 2015, 2016. Where did Omnius, we spoke briefly about the name Omnius, but where did the idea or vision came to start your own org? Because that's
not something you just do.
And also, no disrespect, guys, creating a Twitter page and a logo doesn't mean you have an org.
No, there's a lot that goes into it. I can promise you that.
So let's talk about that. So let's start with, how did you start with Omnius? The conception of it, the idea, and why did you want to start your own org?
Yeah, so essentially that started when I was done competing in the Battlefield era of my life. We did a lot of Battlefield 3 and 4 after my 4 years in Battlefield, and I've gotten my medals and stuff.
Prime Battlefields, those, dude. Yeah, I don't want to talk about 2042.
No, we'll skip that one. Okay. But anyway, so once I was done with that, I would say I've gotten enough experience, hands-on experience of how, because I was in different teams and they were kind of transitioning into the orgs. I mean, I played when Bravado, Energy, those people were still in the Battlefield scene as well, and those were your big boys they were actual orgs.
Yeah.
So I kind of got the scene. I got how they were doing things, but I always had this thing of like, I could probably, there were a few issues I had that I wanted to rectify or just fix or do better, because I feel like we were lacking in certain aspects at that time, because that was still the early ages of orgs, esports in South Africa.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of gaps to fill. So that kind of pushed me in the direction of like, I want to start my own org, see if I can do it the way I wanted to do it and make it awesome. That was the whole thing. So in 2017, I was like, I'm doing it. I'm going to create my own org, sit there, design a logo, think about a lot of stuff, do your basic graphic design.
So D is a multimedia designer. I think it's the best word to describe you, because it's very much what I am. It's video and flat design.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff.
So just before we get to Omnius, did you study design or was you self-taught?
I actually started self-taught, but then I had to go obviously to a college because you needed a certificate or something. You can't just walk into a job. It's like, I can do graphic design. So I did that, but it was mostly self-taught.
Okay.
And then obviously doing like doing that whole study course to get the certificate, you learn the extra stuff to benefit you.
So were you like, okay, before Omnius and stuff, were you like, this is kind of the career I want to go into? When did the coding start?
Yeah, I was initially my first. Yeah, so
you went from front to back end, dude.
yeah, like it was a weird journey.
What the fuck, dude?
It started with graphic design. I wanted to do that, but then I also I wanted to be a game designer. That was my thing. It's like, let's make my own game.
Why not?
What are games written in? C#, C++.
I can make Half-Life maps.
Yeah, I can do it. So I was like, let me do it. Did my whole study course on, I studied C#, all those things, and then it just didn't stick with me.
Yeah.
So I kind of transitions, like, I like building my own stuff.
Yeah.
So what was the best thing? Web development. I went into that. That's where it kind of pushed me. And then obviously I still did graphic design because I loved creating stuff, making stuff. So
that's why I called you a unicorn earlier. It's a thing in the industry if somebody can design and code. It's you're a bit of a unicorn. You best of both worlds basically. But it's funny for me because a lot of front end dudes just hate the thought of back end, and vice versa. And you are liking both, bro.
Yeah, I mean, like especially now, like how coding has gotten to a point where, like, if you're like a JavaScript developer, your Next.js, which is basically a very thin line between front and back, because it supports both, and that just makes your life easier. And then you kind of branch into it, and that opens up a whole new door of interesting topics and things you just want to pursue. So that's why I kind of went both.
Okay,
a full stack developer is the guy that does both. So that's kind of the thing.
Okay, so that was a little back end on D and design and his coding, because D does everything, I assume, in Omnius, but we'll get to that. So your conception for Omnius, how did that start? You said you wanted to do something your way, and I feel like a lot of people start with things because they feel they can do it maybe better or in their own way. That's
that's
a lot
what
of
most people do. Yeah, it's just I wanted to do that. My whole vision, if you have like a business vision, mission statement, was I wanted to be unique in some way. Being at the same point of where your bravado and energy was, but just on the other side. I always like being a bit unique in some aspect. I don't want to be the same.
How did you want to be different from the brand or the way you run your teams?
I would say the way I ran my stuff and just things doing it. Back in the day, newsletters was kind of still a thing. So I was like, no one's doing newsletters. Let's do that. Let's give
newsletters were hot back there, bro.
Yeah, they were. Now no one does it.
Not so much, bro.
But so that was one of the things. Like, I want to give people updates on our teams and how we do. CS team did well this week. They won 4 matches, see where the scores.
So
things like that.
And that's kind of like something you do today, though. I can see it still, and I think a lot of people maybe took inspiration of that. It's just those nicely designed updates on what's going on.
Yeah, it's very important to let people know what your players are doing. My vision was like, I wanted to spotlight players. So I want to, if players are doing well, I want people to know it. I want to show them, okay, cool, look at this team doing well. And then that also bit me sometimes in the butt, because then, you know how poaching happens, where like, oh, look at this good team, let's take him. But that's fine. I feel like Omnius is the middle ground of the org that kind of puts people, give them the spotlight, and then they can go to where they need to be.
And that's just a compliment to you, bro, because you can see talent before other people see it, and you give Oaks a chance, dude.
And I think it's great because I feel like, give people a chance, see where they go. It's nice. Maybe they become one of the best players in the country, or
you never know.
You never know. Just giving them a chance.
And that's so nice to hear from especially speaking of personal experience, because I was signed with Omnius for the last year, and I just told D I want to do some other stuff, check other orgs out, maybe LevelFox, this and that, and D was like, I'm stoked, dude. Like, I'm stoked.
I never deny people. Like, I love it. Like, if you come to me, like, it's happened a few times, and a lot of people have transitioned over to other places. I'm like, if it's beneficial for you, go.
Yeah.
Because I want you to get
Grow.
something better, grow,
Yeah.
get to a point where you want to be.
Yeah.
So just go for it. So
It's and I say from the heart, guys. Like generally good dude, very nice. Always willing to help out wherever he could. I mean, Omnius did offer me, you know, their tool sets and stuff like that. And I mean, I'd like to design my own stuff anyway. So, but as an org, you guys were willing to help out and stuff, which is dope. And it's cool because I was the first org I was signed to. So, thanks for not sleeping on me.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Like, yeah, no, when I was watching or when we were reviewing like all the different streamers and stuff or content creators, I'm like, yeah, this guy looks, I like his stuff. I can see it going somewhere. So that's why, you
I
know.
appreciate it, man. So you conceptualized it, Omnius. What was your first kind of roster? So obviously Counter-Strike.
Yeah, the big three we started with Counter-Strike, Dota, and Overwatch at that point. Yeah.
Counter-Strike, Dota, and Overwatch, and I mean, you obviously grew as an org. You started getting a little bit of traction, and I do love asking some of the hard-hitting questions. So if you don't mind, do your esports players now, or your athletes, I should say, do you pay them salaries? Yes or no, or is Omnius a bit of, like you said, is a bit of a jumping board to go to?
Yeah, no,
places?
I can't. So obviously, everything financial backing is coming straight from me.
Yeah.
So my salary does not allow me to pay or give players a salary. So we don't do that. I try and remedy that by doing other things. Obviously, with the help of our sponsors giving people things if they do well, or as an org, just giving people like those loot boxes,
monitors and stuff.
Yeah, that's how I try and kind of fix that gap, because I want to give people stuff.
Of course.
Because obviously you're doing well, you know, you can get something. But obviously I just don't have the money for that. So I just like, that's what we do.
And that's an honest answer, and I like that, dude. And the fact that you're still thinking of your players in terms of like stuff and making sure they sort it out is more than most people do anyway. So GG's on that. Very cool to hear. But
it's actually a big shout out just for, I mean, it's mostly the sponsors that help us doing that. Like, I mean, I can't buy 20 monitors and have them available for players, but the sponsors allow us to do that. So big shout out to Chris from AOC, because he's been helping us do things like that. And then now, you know, recently Switch, they were like,
so Switch is a recent announcement. So the energy drink,
helping the players keep awake,
keep them awake, and also Cairo, the chair, right? So that's the other one, and then the print network, right?
Init Apparel, they help us do the awesome hoodies and stuff. Like that.
Speaking of, Ruan, I wanna show off this hoodie quickly, if you don't mind. So this was not the first drop, right?
No, the one that you saw Hezray wearing was the very first one, but this is like, I'd say the third one.
The third one. So our favorite chair is this hoodie, guys. It's got the Omnius logo. It's very comfortable. It's very nice, dude. I feel like I show people's clothing more than anything else, but can you grab this hoodie still on the website?
Yeah, it's available on our website. We even have a bunch of other hoodies available as well, and a new one that you will see there. I didn't really announce, but it's there. People must look.
They must look.
Yeah, must look.
Is it already listed?
Yeah, it's listed.
Heard it firstly on LevelFox.
Yeah, I guess this is the first announcement.
So apparel, something you guys are into, the hat. Really need one of those hats, Minia. Just okay. So okay,
maybe
we've got about probably 12, 13 minutes left. Director Ruan. By the way, guys, shout outs to Ruan in the back end. He works on my team at work here in Media 24. He makes sure everything's in check. Without him, I wouldn't be able to do this. So I don't pay him a dime. So Ruan, if we make it one day, I'll send you some royalties. Okay, so we'll sort you out, dude. But for now,
like a plan.
for now, the man sees the vision, and we're on the path, dude. So, okay, we've got about 10 minutes or so left. We spoke about Omnius. What teams do you have today in the rotation?
Yeah, we have our CS team, the XL team with Vulcan and all them. We have my Valorant team, which I compete in with now as well, or still. And then we have our Apex team with Fortune and those guys. Yeah.
So it's Valley, CS, and Apex at the moment.
Yes. Yeah. We are looking into getting a Rocket League team, and then possibly, like, I'm still on the bench of MOBA's League and Dota at this point, because I feel like they come and go, but I want another team in that direction again. So yeah,
happy to hear you saying Rocket League. Rocket League's in a bit of a booming state at the moment, especially in South Africa. It's caught up. I mean, with the showdown we had, we chose FIFA and Rocket League as the games, and it was nice, dude.
It was
seeing the peep and the peeps in the what's the calibra? What's the English caliber of players?
Yeah, caliber. Yeah, that's the word. Yeah.
Well, what's it Afrikaans? Calibra. Caliber. I don't know. Am I English or Afrikaans? Well. I don't know.
Let's just keep it English. It's fine.
The caliber of whatever. But the talent that was at the showdown. And so I would love to see an Omnius Rocket League team. That would be amazing.
Definitely. Yeah, we're looking forward. So if anyone's watching this, hit us up.
Yeah, and
have a look.
Yeah, check out Omnius social stuff. We'll have all their links in the bottom of this YouTube video key. But I can see you designing a vinyl for the cabbies, bro. I can see it in my...
I've already done that.
So of course,
it's sitting there, it's waiting.
It's waiting. Okay, so 10 minutes left. We spoke about your journey a little bit. I think we covered most of everything. When you sit and start these conversations, guys, an hour feels long, but it's actually not.
No, it's actually gone. I was stressing. I didn't have enough to speak about. But look at it. Yeah,
and we are there. And there's so much more to talk about. I have a little gift for you. So, Ruan, do you mind passing it for me there? Every guest that comes on the show has to get one of these. Thank you.
A Woolies bag.
Woolies, if you're watching this, I've got space for sponsorships.
Your opportunity.
Your guys' pepper steak pie rocks. So please. There you go, Mania.
Oh,
this
awesome.
is for you.
I really love collecting things like this. Like I've got a whole cupboard of all my shirts from the different teams that I've played for and merch. Like this is awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Awesome. So that's yours. Every guest gets one.
Awesome.
I can even Raikou. Otherwise,
she will steal it. Don't worry about it. She'll just, you know how it is.
we can make a plan. I'll send you guys one. Quickly, one on Raikou on the back end and Omnius involvement. You like long and short of it, you guys run the show, right?
Yeah, she's my support. When I'm lazy, I was like, email these people. That's my support.
She checks up on you.
Yeah, now she makes sure like when I can't get to everything, because obviously you only have so many hours in a day. I have my 8 to 5 job, then I come back, then I have to do org stuff, team stuff. She helps throughout the day with that. So
I don't want to hit a nerve now, but Flying Shotgun, that was a great initiative.
Yeah, that was she was seeing a gap in the Valorant scene because I started playing Valorant and she saw how much I enjoyed it. She's like, let's try and do a tournament or a league or something. And then, that was it.
I mean, it was quite synonymous in the Val ZA scene. So I think it kind of started a cool gees and what's possible.
The whole idea of it was to grow the community to a point. To even our main big plan was to get enough exposure for Riot to maybe just give us some service. Maybe getting to that point, but you know how it goes.
I can chat for 3 hours about local servers. I mean, Riot Games, if you're listening to this, come on, guys. Like, we have enough. You cannot tell me putting up a server with the amount of dollars you guys make to put up a server locally for what, like a couple of hundreds of dollars a month, and to justify and acknowledge Sub-Saharan Africa.
Yeah, I mean, look at how many companies just ignore us on the map.
Ignores us on the map. And I actually, I'm not going to say too much, guys, but I kind of want to work on a docu about this subject in South Africa because
that would actually be very cool.
Yes, because I actually find it like bad business practice to even allow your product to be downloaded or sold in a country where there's no local service.
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense to me, bro. Yeah, does not make sense to me. And I'm also looking at you, Apex. Yeah,
definitely.
Shout outs to the ones giving us service.
Definitely.
Battlefield.
The companies, even these weird, like they're not even AAA companies. They support local service.
Escape from Tarkov.
Yeah, that's a good example.
Not bigger than what Valleys is in South Africa, but EFT has a local server.
If they can do it, why can't the big companies do it?
So Riot Games, EA. I'm looking at you guys. Okay. I know my workies don't look straight always, but like I'm looking at you guys. It's actually shocking. So I was thinking of doing some sort of docu.
That's a good idea.
I believe you've got something for me too, bro.
I do. I have a big package.
I've got a big package.
I can get it actually.
Oh, I'm excited. It's like Christmas today. We're swapping out things.
It's just early Christmas.
Thank you, Meneer. To be honest, guys, this means a lot to me because this is technically the drop I would have got while I was still signed with you guys. And the nice thing about this is that D still always giving it to me, so it's kind of just shows you how nice D is because I was like, dude, I'm not gonna re-sign the contract, and I was like, but I would still love to.
I'm not gonna the stuff's there, it's yours, take it, use it.
I'm gonna. You mind if I open it up, bro?
Yeah, go for it. You just have to break the seals.
Break the seal.
The
bro.
danger seals, we call them.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, guys, because you know, the industry in South Africa is still, at the end of the day, is not a big one, and we need to support each other. And
Definitely.
and the reason I mentioned Raikou and Flying Shotgun and your brief of your history and stuff, and I think you're the owner of the ZA Twitter page.
No, basically, I just made a community Discord. So I wanted a central point for everyone to come together to do everything. Play games, get people to play with, organize tournaments through. So you don't have to go to different stuff constantly. That's one of the things I like, organizing stuff into one point.
Exactly.
So that was the whole idea behind the community server.
And the reason I mentioned is that a lot of people don't know what D's involvement is in a lot of the back end things.
Yeah,
bro.
there's a lot.
There's a lot of things. D's not that kind of guy who's just like, I started this, I own this.
No, this is mine now. Yeah.
It's mine now. He's not that kind of cat. So respect to you, dude. Like, respect for trying all this stuff. Okay, guys, I'm going to get to my goodies here.
Yeah.
Very nice matte black box. We've got the danger sticker here, kind of fitting with the theme and the little vinyl sticker. Sorry, dude. You know I'm a designer, so I judge every sticker, but this looks so beautiful. Ooh-wee. All right, guys. I know now about this. So you guys mentioned Switch. So shout out to Switch, guys. Here's the lovely flavors right here.
Oh, good flavors.
Which one is your favorite one, bro?
So in this packet, I would definitely go for the Candy Floss and the Element. That's one of my favorites.
I have to agree with you. Candy Floss is like an Iron Brew something, right?
Iron Brew Candy Floss, yeah.
Yeah, it's this one, yeah.
Yeah.
It's this one,
One of the nice little
I've had
graffiti
this
on
one
it.
before. But thank you, Miniat.
No, it's a pleasure.
Ooh, look at this, guys. Okay, Roy,
Cap
come check this
switches.
out. Yes, please. Hello. I love snapbacks, guys, obviously because of the LevelFox hooping as well. But this looks so beautiful, D. Thank you so much for this,
That's a pleasure.
man.
That's one of our, that's very limited. You don't get those caps anymore. You don't get the two-tone
You don't get the two-tone one anymore.
So,
Is the white and black one still available?
as far as I know, yes. Yeah.
I will be in touch because I want that one too for my collection. But this is beautiful. Thank you, Minia. And I mentioned to D about these little guys.
Armbands, yeah.
If you guys had a keen eye, I've been wearing this in the other episodes and I misplaced one of them. So thank you,
That's
Minia.
fine.
I got the so buyer. What do we have it? Yeah, bro. What is
That's a little
this?
buff, just like a...
Ominak.
Yeah, those buffs you put over when you do sport and stuff, or it's just like a little...
I love it, dude.
One of the extra stuff we
Or
have.
like a fake COVID mask, back people were pulling that.
Well, if you didn't like the whole masking, yeah.
Yeah, you would put one of these. This is very gangster, dude. I love it, dude. It's so G.
Now you can go rob stores with Omnius branding.
With Omnius branding. I love the way you did the pattern, yeah, man. Yeah, it looks beautiful. It looks beautiful. So that's that thing. A couple of fizzies because why not?
Yeah,
bro?
because apparently people were loving them, so it's like, just have them. You know,
I mean,
They're nice.
every gift of the few sweets is cool. And what is this guy? Yeah, bro.
It's a little lanyard with your own little card.
With the Wolfie logo.
Yeah,
bro.
it's for going to events and stuff, and then carrying that around.
Damn, dude, that is sick, bro. Thanks, D. I appreciate
That's a
it,
pleasure.
man. Oh man, this is so beautiful, bro. When did I give you this vector file? Like the first when we just met, dude, and you just ran with
I
this.
saw. I mean, I have everyone's little folder of their stuff inside.
Yeah. And then the creme de la creme is this Norman Kia, D. And like I said, guys, I like shout outs to Omnius again and the whole family and for allowing me to somewhat try and create content
Yeah, no, man, it's great.
under the green wall.
It's honestly great having you with us.
Yeah, and no matter what happens going forward, I would still proudly wear this jersey, guys. So this is this year's
2022, yeah.
2022 one. Let me give you guys the one in the front. This is absolutely stunning, dude. I love it. This is how it looks in the front, and then the back, it's got your boy's Dutch Wolf, the name on, dude. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. It looks absolutely beautiful. I've been waiting for this for quite a long while now.
Yeah, no, it took a while to get the stuff sorted, but I'm so happy it's now finally going out to everyone. So yeah,
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And like I said, dude, your designs, your layouts, your spacing on everything is stunning, dude. Like,
thank you. No, I appreciate it.
from one designer to the next, because at the end of the day, I judge as I go, and
No.
I literally when I look at your branding, there's like nothing that irritates me. You know, when you're a
That's good
designer,
to
you
hear,
look at
yeah.
something, you look at the alignment.
I,
the
as a designer
spacing.
myself, hate everything I
Hate
create.
everything.
Yeah, it's like, this is shit, but other people are like, it's not. It's like, okay, I guess I'll leave it, It can stay for now.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
But 58 minutes. Shit, we almost running out of time, right? Ruan, we good? We're good, actually. Okay, cool. Okay, we're gonna end it off there. I like to try and keep these episodes at an hour, and I was saying only 58 minutes. Excuse my friends, but D, thank you so much, dude.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
I appreciate it. You're one of the OGs in the scene. Thanks for giving me a shot as well, putting a little bit of spotlight on who Dutch Wolf is, and further than that, thank you for what you've done in the scene. Like as a heel,
Yes,
dude.
yeah.
Like ons waardeer dit wat jy doen.
That's good. I'm happy that at least it's making people happy. That's the whole point of it, getting the positivity out of it.
Yeah. And I guess I speak for everybody on the Omnius family and stuff, because I've gotten to know quite a few guys. Shout out to Havoc and the other the actual teams, but obviously I was just a little bit more involved with Havoc. But again, dude, thanks for everything you've done in the scene. Thanks for you and Raiku in the back end as well. The stuff you guys are going to push out. I can only see big and great things for Omnius going forward, dude. So GG's on that. And I believe this would be this is episode 1, 2, 3. I almost said the name of 3. Episode 4. So this concludes episode 4 of the Sit Down with Demonix, aka Jacques, owner of Omnius. Thank you so much for coming in, Meneer. I appreciate it.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me on LevelFox. I can't wait to see where the next episodes are going, who you can have on your guests. It's always nice watching.
Just don't, you know who's next, so just don't say anything.
I won't leak it. Don't watch my Twitter account.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take it easy.